Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas is now responding to a report. He failed to disclose lavish gifts from a GOP mega-donor. The report from ProPublica claims that those gifts included luxury trips, among them island hopping on a super yacht in Indonesia, all-male retreats at an exclusive California club, and fishing at a private resort in the Adirondacks. Justice Thomas released a statement saying he is dearest friends with the donor, Harlan Crow, and his wife, Kathy. Thomas also says, quote, "Early in my tenure at the court, I sought guidance from my colleagues and others in the judiciary and was advised that this sort of personal hospitality from close personal friends who did not have business before the court was not reportable." For more, let's bring in ABC News senior Washington reporter Devin Dwyer. Devin, staying on that ProPublica report, despite public outcry from both members of Congress, Thomas seems to be shrugging this one off. Would you agree?
Well, he's certainly acknowledging the relationship with that donor, Alexis, and pushing back on some of the insinuations in that explosive ProPublica report that you talked about. Not only does he sort of couch this pattern of behavior over 20 years as part of a close friendship with the Harlan Crow family, but he says basically that his colleagues discussed this and advised that he was just fine to let it slide. And in fact, that in itself highlights a big problem with the Supreme Court right now, and that is there is no enforceable ethics code on the justices. There's no independent oversight of the justices. No one checking to make sure that they're in compliance with federal regulations, with federal law. It's all self-policing. So here Justice Thomas seems to be saying in his statement today that he had every intention of disclosing this, no conflicts of interest, no cases discussed, that this was pure friendship, and justices are allowed to have friends and travel with friends. But here he says he means to disclose. He will in the future, but if you read between the lines, he contends that he did nothing wrong.
Right. So bottom line, no rules were broken because there was no rule to break. So in the wake of that report from ProPublica, Justice Thomas is also in the spotlight for being one of two Supreme Court justices dissenting in a case about a 12-year-old transgender girl in West Virginia who challenged a ban on transgender athletes in girls' sports. Can you break down that case for us, and how did this all play out?
A significant case, Alexis. This is the first time the Supreme Court has weighed in on a state ban against transgender student athletes. And we've talked about these and reported on these. 19 states making some effort on that front. 3 states have lawsuits. West Virginia is one of them that's underway. It's blocked currently, that law, in federal court. And the Supreme Court said yesterday that they will not get involved right now, that they're going to sit on the sidelines and let these battles over transgender student athletes continue to play out in the court system. And that means effectively they will not allow West Virginia's law to take effect. It's on hold. And that was a win for this 12-year-old transgender girl and her family. She's a middle school cross-country and track runner. She's been participating on the team, they say, without any incident or problem for years. She'll get to continue to do that now while this plays out. But as you know, this is a big point of debate in the country right now, and there's a lot of talk about how this should be handled and what the law says.
Yeah, and to that point you just made, West Virginia is one of 19 states that have banned transgender student athletes in just the last 3 years. So what will this ruling, do you think, mean for other states with federal lawsuits still pending?
Well, for now, it means that these legal battles, Alexis, can continue. And that will mean we'll see potentially a patchwork of responses to these laws in certain states as they're challenged and defended in court. It also means that the Supreme Court is going to sit on the sidelines for right now. They are not taking a position in what they did yesterday on the merits or the legality of these transgender student-athlete bans. They likely will in the future when that case, if and when a case gets to them, but for now they're sitting on the sidelines. And so effectively we're sort of in a period where the states and the lower courts are going to sort of see how this shakes out, and we do know that a number of states are pushing ahead, 19 so far. That's up 3 states just from last year. So obviously there's a lot of legislation, particularly in conservative communities, although the families of these transgender students say this is really stigmatizing and hurtful.
Now, of course, election season is heating up. So how big of an issue do you think this is going to be for voters as we look ahead to 2024?
I think it's too soon to tell how voters are going to respond to this issue. Republicans, no question, are making this a centerpiece of their campaigns in a number of these states. We've seen a number of the early presidential contenders also raising the issue of transgender people, transgender student athletes. But how voters will respond to that and whether they'll put more weight on that issue than over, say, the economy, which you know a lot about, remains to be seen. Historically, it's been those pocketbook issues that are drivers at the polls, but this appears to be a flashpoint in the campaign that's getting underway. Alexis.
All right, Devin Dwyer, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.